Okay, we want to make sure that we're not doing anything weird. That we're, if anything, the back of our tongue can kind of open a little bit. We don't want to pull our tongue back. A lot of people mistake those for being the same things. It's kind of like, oh, kind of like pulling our tongue back this way, right? Which is not good because that's actually choking it off. It feels like it's opening things up, but it's actually choking it off. We don't want to pull our tongue back. We want to keep our tongue forward, but we just want to kind of drop the back of it a little bit. Does that make sense? This usually naturally will kind of bring the jaw down and a little bit forward, right? It's going to kind of hinge the lower jaw this way and help it bring it forward so the front is still nice and parallel, right? Okay. Okay. So let's apply that to playing this chromatic scale down to the low frequency. Okay, so what do you think? How's that feeling?
It feels pretty good.
Good.
It's a little bit of like a weird muscle thing to wrap your head around to like move the back of your tongue.
Right. Yeah. That can be a little bit of it. I don't know that we use that a lot, like when we're speaking our English language or anything. We don't have a lot of sounds that, like, you have to go out of your way to kind of drop the back of your tongue, right? So it's not a familiar feeling to us, especially in our English language. But yeah, so it takes a little bit of getting used to. It's not a huge exaggerated. You're not trying to like jut your jaw forward as much as you can or anything extreme. That's not what we're going for. This is just a simple let that jaw and your chin kind of move down and forward a little bit as we're just trying to open up. We're not trying to be exaggerated or tense, right? This is just a simple, just making sure that we're keeping this tension out. We've got this nice full breath, right? Okay, so with that in mind, we're going to do a few little exercises here to warm up the low range, okay? All right, here we go. Let's start with, we're going to start just on middle C. We're going to do some pitch bending exercises, okay? We've done some of these before. It's been a little while, but all right, so we're just going to start on middle C. We're going to do this oscillating between fingering the B as we slur to it and not fingering the B as we slur to it. All right? Yep. We want to keep this open, and we also want to make sure we're not going like this to get down to the B, right? You weren't doing it that big, but it's just little stuff. We want to just kind of track it, right? Just be aware of what's happening. Much better. That was awesome. Really, really nice. Can you feel the difference? Okay, that's a big difference. Really, really good job. Okay, now let's do the same thing. We're gonna go just down to the G. Okay, just below that same thing down to the F sharp. It's gonna take a lot more air the lower we go. Good. One more breath's worth. Good job. Good. Yeah, this is the right idea. Really, really nice. Okay, now we're gonna go. Let's go to the E. Let's finger the E just on third valve because that'll make this slur the easiest. And just do E, E flat. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Nice and easy. Same thing. Want to cue this up? Just nice and easily. This is simple, natural, and repeatable, right? We're not doing anything exaggerated or awkward or cumbersome or anything. It's just we're breathing all the way to the floor. And then we're having this very open for this low. We need to move lava air, just this lava flow of air for this low range. There we go. Excellent. Awesome, awesome. Okay, just a couple more. Let's go down to the D, right? 1 and 3. Down to the D flat. Don't worry about conserving your air. Don't worry about metering your air out, especially back here in your throat. Don't worry about metering it out, especially in this range. We should run out of air very quickly. Good. Good, good. I lost your video just a little bit at the end, but it's sounding a lot better. It's sounding like you're really pulling this forward, right?
Mm-hmm.
Good, because that's where we want the control down here. We don't want to leave the control to head angle, right? That's not a very reliable measure of control, right? To go, this is how I go down in range. That's not great.
Yeah.
We also don't want it to be not only head angle, but angle relative to the mouthpiece.
Right.
We don't want to, I mean, there will be some, but this is something we want to minimize. Right? This kind of, right, moving the mouthpiece angle to our face, to the visage, we want to really minimize that. It'll happen naturally, and there's some that's helpful as we go across the large range of the horn. But we don't want to rely on, like, between half steps, right? Going like this. We want these corners to be very stable. We want the motion to happen more up and down in our jaw, right? And with our chin, we want a little bit more action there. We don't want the action to be here, and we don't want it to be here, right? Okay, so now let's go down to low C, okay? Again, we should be running out of air really fast. Don't worry about how you're sounding. Worry about what you're doing, right? Okay, so start one more time. Hang on. One more time. I know this might be getting in your head a little bit, right? This is so low, right? Don't worry about how you're sounding. Don't worry about that. The specific pitches and ranges that we're playing, that's a detail, right? It's fine. Let's worry about what we're doing, right? Because when we get it into our head, we start to lose what we're doing, right? To protect how we're going to sound, we start letting go of what we're doing,
Mm-hmm.
right? We want to protect what we're doing, and then we'll sound how we're going to sound, right? Good posture. Breathe low. Don't breathe. This is so low. Right now, I've got all this tension here, right? We want just nice, easy breathe down to the floor. Here, take your mouthpiece out one more time. Let's just refine this feeling. Very good. Now blow that feeling Now to the low C. You're getting there. Okay, try going like this a little bit. Not extreme. You don't have to fall backwards, but just an inch or two higher, just to. Good, good. That already sounds a lot better. There's something mentally.
Yeah.
This is one of the reasons this is good to break this habit, is because there's something mentally that we associate. That when we think, oh, I'm so low, we think I'm so far away from my center of gravity. I'm out of balance. I have to overextend my reach. I have to work so hard, right? Does that feel like what's kind of going on with the mental games?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of psych myself out, and I'm like, oh, it's gonna sound all weird, and it's so far away, and then it's not actually that far away. It's completely like within my reach. Like it's right there. I just have to like.
If I was standing
I
right
need to
here,
grab it instead of like getting away and try to grab it.
yes, exactly, exactly. If you were here, if we were in the same room, what I would do, I've done this before. I'll pull $1 out of my pocket, and I'll say, "It's $1." You know, it's a good amount of money. You could do something with $1. It's not a
Mm-hmm.
penny or something, right? You know, it's a whole dollar. And I'll hold it out right here, and I'll say, if you can grab this dollar bill, you can keep it. So just reach out and grab it.
Yeah, yeah.
We work ourselves up, but something's going to happen, and it's going to pull it away, or that's so much money, or right? We get all this stuff attached, associated to this action of just, oh, okay. Just reach out and grab it.
Mm-hmm.
So we think that and I think that manifests itself when we're like, oh, it's so far away. Oh, right? And so that solidifies, now we have a physical cue that solidifies our mental cue,
Right.
right? And that's a bad cycle to get into. So we want to break that. A good way to break that is through the physical cue. Get rid of that physical cue. And then all of a sudden our brain is like, well, wait, what am I doing? And it looks at it a new way, kind of takes it afresh. And all of a sudden you think,
Mm-hmm.
oh, well, I can play a middle C, right? No problem. It's just right there. Just reach out and grab it. And then you realize, oh, middle C is basically almost the same as playing a low C. It's just right there, right in front of me. It's not down here. It's not up there. It's not over there, right? It's just right there. Just like a middle C is. It's just, oh, I'll just have that, please.
No, I'm 100% certain that the low C is at least 3 inches to the left.
We need to get out our metaphysical tape measures and see how far away it is from middle C. So if we can trick ourselves, the more we can not trick ourselves, but condition ourselves into seeing all these notes of the range, we have a big range on the horn, right? Bigger than most orchestral instruments. But they're really not that far away. It's not like some big metaphysical ladder that we have to scale to go up and down. It's not some big thing out here, right? It's right here. The whole range of the horn is right here in front of us. We don't have to work that hard. We have to condition ourselves to just see it that way consistently. And then how to achieve it, just right there, right? That's the trick, is conditioning ourselves, learning that, instilling that new tendency to not freak out, to not overextend when we don't have to, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this is why some of this exercise is good. So I want you to do this. Let's do a C chromatic scale again, from middle C down to low C, and try and think of it all just right here. We're not overextending to get low, right? It's just all All right here. There you go. Yep. We just blow our air. Yep. And then we just condition ourselves to train that lower and lower in pitch, right? The pitch sounds different, the wavelength is different, but it's achieving lower is not about ducking our chin, right? That's not what's going to achieve actually the lower pitch. The lower pitch is going to come from the aperture, right? This is what controls the pitch. Now, I don't know, all these other things going on. Not the way we're breathing or metering out our air, right? The aperture is the thing that's going to change the pitch. So we want to just deliver enough air to that larger aperture that it's going to vibrate. Right, and then we can go down from there. But it's not this extreme thing. So one more time, let's do this low C to B exercise. Okay, take a good breath. Can you hear yourself for 10 seconds? There you go. Good, good. And the more you do, this is an exercise I very strongly recommend. These kind of pitch bending, just to like nudge our range in pitch lower and lower, right? Very gradual, very simple mechanism, but it's a mechanism that'll set us up for a lot of success, right?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of success. So what we want to do is just work this simply and consistently. We don't want to overthink it. We don't want to work ourselves up, right? The more we do it, the more we'll figure out how to balance our embouchure inside, how to stabilize it with good corners, good chin, right? How to kind of drop that jaw a little bit, just to kind of bring that all down. We'll get more and more used to that. It's a process, right, as we condition ourselves.